What is up, guys, and welcome back to the podcast. Guys, I know it's been a minute. Hopefully, y'all been enjoying some of the interviews I've been doing, just with different people that are successful and just seeing their path, their mindset towards their path, and how that's helped them get to where they are today. I know for me, being 30, my mindset definitely changed. A couple of times, and just figuring, just keeping a strong mindset, and even facing times where my mindset became weak and having to re-strengthen, because that's what life's about. Gotta gain that strength back. Sometimes we're gonna have days where we just feel weak. Sometimes we're gonna have days where we just feel like we just lost. And one thing I know for sure, every loss is just a lesson that gives us feedback to help us with what we need to do next. So that's what you got to take it as. Every loss is definitely not defeat. Every loss is not defeat. It's just a lesson that gives you feedback, and now you know what to do. Of course, with winning is different, because obviously if it's broken, you don't fix it. What's working is bringing the wins, is bringing the joy, is bringing. So you just keep doing that. But loss, I feel like the trials and the tribulations, they're great teachers, just because like it gives us feedback. It gives us the necessary feedback we need to do in order to win, and to make those changes. Because sometimes we get to certain feedback, and you either have a choice to pout and complain, or you have the choice to make something happen with yourself. So that's what you got to take that as. But like I said, hopefully y'all been enjoying the podcast and the interview so far. Definitely got a good lineup for this month, but man, I'm excited. Like I don't know what episode we on, but it's been great so far. It's been great. I always try to do an episode when something comes to mind versus just forcing something. I've been learning to do that, because every day is teaching me something, even in my past, learning different things like that. And those are always great. So I always have a story to tell. Most times it's just what mood you're in. I showed my team a video, just you versus you. And one of the main things that I've always talked about, just being disciplined. Now, I even wrote in my book back in 2020, just how you need to be motivation. And, as time passed and I grew wiser, grew knowledgeable about certain things, and started really reflecting, paying attention to my life, and just noticed, like, as long as I stayed disciplined, things were working out. Instead of just searching for that motivation, just stay disciplined with what I'm doing now. You're going to need to be motivated by something. You need to be motivated by something, and just be disciplined in it to see the end result for it. Whatever results that you expect from a certain thing or a certain situation, you just got to be disciplined in order to see the end result of it. Because sometimes we can be motivated, and now we get the results. We look at it day by day, week by week, month by month, year by year, and we might not be getting the necessary results that we expected from it. But if we keep going and keep doing, eventually we will see the results that we've been expecting. But some of us, we stop early, and that's what came to me today. It just, don't just count your days, make your days count. Because most times we want to just count the wins, and the losses have so much to teach us. Like I said, the losses give us that feedback we need to make the necessary changes, whether that's in your life. For me, coaching, making the necessary changes, just being honest, my season right now is not going as I planned, pretty much a losing season. But even though I might not be getting the wins I expect, there's still something that needs to be taught. As a coach, I'm still a leader of men. And I look at it as, like, even though I'm not getting the expected wins, I still need to be a great leader to lead these young men to do what they need to and be what they need to become for the rest of their life. If you really take coaching serious, it's more than just the wins and losses. The real win comes from making these young men the great men that they can be later in their days. So, like I said, that's been something that I've been getting the feedback and reflecting on, because I remember last year I was so upset not getting this win, not getting that win, and it just made me frustrated to where not only am I taking it out on my players, taking it out on my family and stuff, and then it started doing something to me, started affecting my health and stuff, because now I'm just bringing too much pressure, too much stress to myself because I want to win. When it's not really about that, Of course, as a coach, yes, you're trying to play to win. You're trying to prepare to win. You're doing everything that you need to do to win. Yes. But what do you do when things don't go as planned? I can't just give up on my team. I can't just look at, we're not winning, the season's done, whatever. No, I still have to make these days count for them. They're still expecting me to lead them. So we still work on different things that helps us not only become good players, but it's going to help them become great men later. And those are the things that I had to think about. It's like, even though I'm not getting that necessary result, the best result will be these young men becoming great men later. So making those days count. I could just be like, forget it, we ain't going to win, let's just do this. No, we still running new players. I still adjust. I still make certain necessary changes just for us to be successful, because we can still sneak a win. There's still a possibility to sneak a win and do all those things like that. But I still see the progress. That's what I look at. Like, during this process, are we making progress? And that's what I didn't learn last year that I had to learn this year, was to focus on the progress. Yes, the process is rough. The process is different, but the progress, because at the end of the day, there's an ending result. There's a goal that needs to be met. Maybe we didn't meet the goal of wins, but there's still a win ahead of us, and it make me think back just of Jesus. Jesus would work in different miracles daily, or, as he went about, Jesus would work in miracles. And it seemed like every time the miracle kept getting better. He kept doing the miraculous, something even bigger than before. And then I think about Jesus' progress and process of going to the cross, getting beat down, getting lashed, just taking all those beatings to be on before getting to the cross. And it makes you think, because if you're looking from the outside looking in, or, from our perspective, if we were there, it looked like he's defeated. It looked like he had lost. And he showed us that even in a dead situation, you can bring it back to life. You can bring back to life any dead situation. And that's what he showed us when he went to the cross. Dead and gone for 3 days, and rose himself back up. So just think, any dead situation can be brought back to life just off that example right there. And that's just having that faith, having that belief that even if it's dead, it can be brought back to life. You just got to have that faith. You just got to know that God is going to make a way. You just got to know in 3 days it can turn around. But that's just a certain mindset that you have to have. That's a certain type of mindset you have to really just train your mind to think that way, making the days count. Now I got to look at the perspective. What's the perspective of this? Because I can look at, I didn't get my coffee today. I work in education. All these kids are showing out today. Like, I can measure it off that perspective, or I can change my perspective to make those days count. Even though I don't get my coffee or my energy drink for the morning, I'm still going to make the best of this situation. Even though these kids are being loud, I still can make the best of this situation. I didn't get the expected win, but even in this loss, I got feedback to make the changes. So, and I have it written down. Counting the days is passive. It's waiting, watching the calendar, surviving the week, hoping for the next milestone. Making the days count is active. It's asking, what did I do today that mattered? So you just got to think, what did I do today that matters? Because most time we start focusing on the bad things that happen. We focus on the 99 problems, and the one solution will be the solution to change everything. So the one solution could change everything in your life. So we don't have to focus on the 99 problems. Yes, your day might bring 99 problems, but that one solution makes the difference. It will make the difference out of it. So just think what mattered in your day. Persistence. So your presence over postponement, fully engaging in today instead of living for someday. Intentional effort, choosing action that align with your values, not just your routine. Progress over perfection, small meaningful steps taken consistently, and impact over duration. A single day lived with perfect purpose can outweigh weeks lived on autopilot. So just think, I literally just told my team, like, we have certain things, like you're gonna have more than one purpose. You're literally going to have more than one purpose. Like, I just know my life, I did not expect to be a coach. I did not expect to be a basketball trainer, but this is what my life just led it to be, and within that, I found a purpose in that. You never know where your life is going to lead you. Find purpose in whatever it is that you're doing. Your purpose is going to change, and purpose is really just putting in the value that you have towards others, valuing others over yourself, pouring into yourself so you can pour into somebody else. That's purpose. So just think, everything that you're doing, if you change your perspective on I get to do this versus I have to do this, it makes a big difference. Now let me find purpose in this day. Let me find purpose where I'm at. And then my next chapter, I can find purpose there. So always search, try to find that purpose. Because it changed. You're going to have more than one purpose. You never know where life is going to lead you, and the purpose is going to be different there. I think of just Jesus again. When he traveled, went different places. The purpose, he worked a miracle, made a blind man see, worked the miracle, allowed a lame man to walk, worked the miracle, raised somebody from the dead. Like, the purpose was different. And even just different stories in the Bible, everybody's purpose is different. And as the day goes on, as you get older, the purpose is going to change and to fit that situation. That's why we got to continue to be in our right mind, continue to add to ourselves daily the wisdom, the knowledge that we need to be who we need to be and who we're called to be. But like I said, that was just something short, sweet. That just been on my mind, just making the days count. Because we can count the days till certain things are over with. Because trust me, I've been there, done that. Like, dang, I can't wait for this to be over type of thing. But you still try to find that joy within something and see how it's going to play out, how it's going to work out. So, but I hope y'all enjoyed this. Definitely going to have more things come to mind, and just be ready to, sit here and just chit chat with you guys. Hopefully this was good. And if you're listening or watching on YouTube, listening on other podcast streaming platforms, make sure to give your boy a thumbs up on this. Give me a review, feedback, any other topics you would like for me to discuss and stuff like that. Everything is appreciated. And I can just give you my thoughts on certain things, not trying to tell you what to do, but hopefully guide you and add value to you. But that's all I have, guys. And as always, y'all be blessed, be the best, and be you. I'm out.